Come and get started on a new mission, a new direction, a new intention. Welcome to 5.8G Alive at Connections 50 Plus. I am Terry-Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, catering to all your prospects in the third act of life.
Economic well-being, social gratification, personal fulfillment.
Join us on Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Connections 50 Plus Facebook page, YouTube channel,
and on Gael the Caribbean.
Good evening, everyone. It's Old Year's, tomorrow, New Year's. Welcome to Connections 50 Plus 5.8G Alive. This is our special New Year's edition. Welcoming you and saying Happy New Year's. Enjoy the Old Year's. I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, one of the co-creators of Connections 50 Plus. And as usual, with me is my colleague.
Hi, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy Old Year's. Happy New Year's. I am Terry-Ann Joseph Brathwaite, the other co-creator of Connections 50 Plus. Happy to bring you 5.8G Alive. And Jennifer, yes, we are live.
Yes, we are live. We're going to chat about the Old Year's, what to expect from us, Connections 50 Plus for 2026, about us. You know, this is a really, really happy time. We are all looking forward for 2026. Yes, Taria.
Yeah. So, you know, Jennifer, this year, 2025, I really thought it was special because, as I've said many times before on the show, it is the end of the first quarter of the second millennium. It's and I am if it's one thing that I am very focused on or sensitive to for this year is marking passages of time. We have been fortunate, our generation, we lived across a millennium. We went from the 1900s into the 2000s. All right? Not a lot of people had that experience of crossing over into a new millennium as adults, active, cognitive, things like that. And here we are. We are ending the first quarter of that second millennium. You know, we have seen so much. So it's 2025 going into 2026. And I am thinking that we really need to recognize that. It's when you see your grandchildren, some of us may have the benefit of seeing our great-grandchildren. They're not going to have this experience of going from one century to another. They're hardly likely. So, you know, I think given that we have the blessing to live in such a time, this seems like a special New Year's to me, a special Old Year's, you know, to sit and really take it in. So I am reflecting on the year and where I am now and looking forward, and I'm excited. Yeah.
2025, Terry-Ann, for me, it's a year of gratitude, a year of blessings. For me, I have so much reason to be grateful and to give thanks for. I had my health challenges, but you know what? I saw it as an experience that I was able to share my experience with others, to help inspire those who may have been going through a similar journey, and to show that, you know, you just have to be thankful for where we are, thankful for the things that we can do for having the people around us, for food to eat, for all the basic necessities that we do have. I focus on that gratitude. I did not at all focus on any of the negative aspects because I know if we do that, that's not getting us anywhere. So I say gratitude and blessings, and I am moving forward, looking towards 2026 for more of that, for more of that, for new experiences, for being more active, for being together with friends and family more, and that's what I'm looking forward for. So I feel a sense of joy. I feel excitement, I am not seeing any doom and gloom. I am just seeing, different experiences and the freedom to do what I want to do to make myself happy. So basically, for me, that's it.
Yeah. So I think for today's show, we are going to go in tune. We're going to be going in tune with ourselves, Jennifer and I, talking about where we are, where we've been, and where we think we're going. And we have some really, really great news for you all at the end. Our tribe, when we get into tribe, we'll see. Even Connections is 5.8 year live is recognizing we're at the end of the first quarter of the second millennium and revving up to see what's in store in the future. So let's get in tune and let's get into detail about where Jennifer and myself, I have been for 2025 or for this first quarter of the millennium. Where we're going. Okay. Jennifer, and I think I can start because I think everyone would have had a very unique year, and depending on how we look at our year, how we look at our lives, we would see that we've gone through lots of journeys in whatever aspect of life it is, whether it's ourselves personally, in the relationships, financially, or whatever it is. But as I was telling you, we have a joke that retirement is there. You leave the job at 60, but it takes about 5 years to really get into retirement. And I am beginning with my 64th birthday. I completed 64 years of life and started my 65th. So in this year coming, I'm going to complete the 65th year. And when I think of myself and where I am, I have a sense of having landed safely, meaning that I feel a sense of assurance. And don't get me wrong, it is not a sense of perfection because I still have unfinished goals, things like that. But I realized that I lost the most significant person in my life, my mother, 3 years ago. And this year, I had a conversation. I was having conversations with my sister. She made that point, and some other relatives. And I realized that I am at ease. And it's significant. It is very significant to me because I have made decisions about how I live, how I choose to manage my family, how I choose to manage my money, how I choose to manage myself. And you always have that sounding board you go to, who was mommy. And I think having completed 3 years without her. I'm a grown woman. I've been controlling my life. And so this is by no means a parent-child thing. But I realized this year what a great friend she was to me. And I realized, sort of like in hindsight, looking back, like you realize you're walking with someone and they've let you go and you're on your own and you're okay. And as I say, this is not in a childlike sense, but it's a feeling of satisfaction with myself and where I am. Not that where I am is perfect, but I am looking forward to 2026 and saying something different is going to happen. It's going to be new. It's going to be different. And there is no anxiety. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of hope for creativity. There's a lot of anticipation of the only word I can say is joy, you know? And that is so significant for me. I hope that my explanation is something that the listeners and yourself can understand. But it really it's almost as though you're saying, all right, you've done this, you've taken this 25 years of 2025 of the first millennium, the second millennium, and you look at your children, you look at your family, you look at your friendships, you look at your where you live, where you are settled, and I can sit back and smile and enter in a new year without major worry. As I said, everything is not perfect, but everything is manageable. Everything is, and even for things that I don't have a immediate solution for, I am confident that they'll work out. And yes, gratitude is a significant part of it, but I think the excitement for what my future holds is just bubbling over. And it's a different kind of all years for me because of that. And I am just excited. I am just so excited. It is funny.
Karen, what I'm hearing from you is, as you say, a sense of satisfaction.
Absolutely.
Happy for where you are, embracing your situation, being able to, it's not really releasing the grief, but acknowledging that your relationship with your mom has strengthened you and
yeah.
have you where you are. That appreciation, that love will never go. It will never go.
Oh yes.
Obviously, any death will have us into that period of something grief for mourning. There are some people who may remain in that right through, but you are able to see it in that, what it is, very positive. She's released, but she's there with you and appreciative of all that was done. And I think with that feeling helps propel you towards that happy future. Because I look at it too in terms of when people talk about death and how you're feeling. In addition with that natural grief, I always look at the friendship and the happiness and the nice time. I enjoy that relationship. Love, had a lot of love and kindness, etc. Then that's how you want to move on. So it's really great that you feel like that. I feel that positive energy. And I know you're going into that 2020, so all set and ready for happy life. And that is what I feel. I like that. I really like that because, we reflect. Well, I tend to reflect on the things that I'm about positive energy. And yes, I agree, none of us perfect, and we have all the challenges if we want to go down that way. And I wouldn't even say in setting goals. As I said before, I no longer set goals the traditional way. I look at the different components of my life that would make me happy, make me want to live, to live life, to share my happiness with others. And because of that, I have just the basic components that make up my life. But and it's not really in any order. It's not really in any order. But what is uppermost to me is that to manage my mental and physical health. Now, I have been managing, I'm quite happy with the way I've been managing. I am happy with how I feel with my the care I'm getting with the medical professionals, the doctors, the nutritionists, etc. So I just plan to continue and to be more aware, because we are never perfect, huh? So I started the health journey. I build on it. Let me say that. I keep building, because there are some things that say, okay, that may not be working, or you may exercise and say, hey, you shouldn't do that, etc. So I would say I'm building on it to improve. I don't expect perfect health, but to improve in such a way that I will continue to be active. That's my thing. To be healthy, to be active, to stay positive. So that require a lot of, as I say, mental strength, physical strength, determination, which I have, and just move into that. My space has to be a positive energy space. And hey, you realize that we're in a new space, right? So this space I am in right now, I upgraded. In the last shows, we spoke a lot about all that I was doing. And the reason that I paid a lot of attention to upgrading my space in the way that I would like it is it goes with my mental and physical health. I must mention that. And yes, I am moving forward 2026 very, very excited to be a little more active. Meaning I want to go out there and do more things, mix and mingle with more friends, do some more community work, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, as we talk about where we are, and I say that I have landed safely. And what is safe for me? Some people think safe is protected and cocooned. Some people say, all right, if you're safe, you're locked in and you're locked away. If you're safe, you're covered. It's a place of same and uncertainty and security. That's what people think we traditionally think safe as. And I think for a lot of our cohort, when we think safe, we think locked in, protected, away from external harms, and nothing is to come in, and everything is to be guarded. The safety that I feel has nothing to do with that. The safety that I feel going forward into 26 is that I am complete. I am so empowered, and I am so capable of going out and doing whatever I choose to do, whatever I set my mind to do. So my safe landing at the end of 2025, at the end of the first quarter of the second millennium of life, has put me in a place where, as I said, I am empowered, I am capable, I am excited for the dreams. Remember, we had a show where we talked about dreams.
Yeah.
Dreams are wishes. And I am not intuition. I am into seeing, desiring, and going forth and getting. That is what I feel like the safe landing. You know, I am in a place where I am pretty assured that I can take care of myself, and where I need assistance, I can get assistance. You know, and again, I know it might be that someone is listening to me in a place that you don't feel safe, and you're still of the view of protecting and cocooning yourself. And I may sound like I think there is no risk. I think there are no hazards. I feel I'm all powerful and so on. It's not that at all. It's not that at all. It is that I am confident. I am confident that if I choose to do something that I've never done before, that I have no experience in, I am confident that I will be able to figure it out, that I will be able to take step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 to get there, that I can learn, that I can discover, and that as I go along paths that I am not accustomed to, that I have the brains and the experience and the intuition to tell me, right, that is not safe. Stay away from that. Go this way. Or if you're going down there, protect yourself. So this landing safely, this safe landing, I am looking forward to. There are passions that I have. And it's the same thing, you know. You think about your mind, body, your soul, your community, you know. What am I going to use my mind to do? I've been using my mind for the last 64 years to do certain things. All right, I'm going to do it, some new things, and you'll discover them as we go through 2026. And there's no worry. Let me not say there's no fear. There's no worry. Because, you know, I read something that says, and again, we come back to our spirituality, which at the end of the day is underscoring life. I don't need to say it every day, and if you listen to me carefully, you will hear it. It says that when you're bitter, you believe that God got it wrong. And when you are anxious, you are fearful that he will not get it right. I am neither bitter nor anxious. So I'm in a little sweet spot in between that can says he's gotten it right and he will get it right. He did not get it wrong and he will get it right, so that I can go forward and evolve and do all kinds of things. So I am excited for my safe landing. And, you know, Jennifer, I will put this in also. And I said it, I think, during the show where you talked to me for my birthday. I'm blessed so far with no major health hiccups. And, you know, I think even if something were to be discovered, something were to happen, this mode is not going to change. Because I've landed safely, And because I am sure that I have the tools, the capability, the confidence, and just the will to grab anything that's ahead of me and move forward, you know? So it's a really, I feel really, really good. And the last thing I'll say before I pause is that I know for many people that I was talking to a young man yesterday, and he was asking me about how are you all going, talking about Connections 50 Plus. One of our young followers, by the way, very young man. And I was telling them, oh, Jennifer and I were talking about the future. He said, was it good? I said, it was great. We're going forward with stuff. And he began to tell me about his life, and he just kept bringing in, but I have this issue, but I want to do this. And but I have this. And I just looked at him and I said, if you keep injecting those issues that occurred in the past into your plans for the future, you'll never get there. And he said, but how do you do that? I said, just block it out. I said, that's the power of your mind. Just decide it's there. You know the trauma, you know what it is, you know how it affects you. Recognize it, and it's there. It was there because of what happened in the past. But as you chart and define your future going forward, just leave it where it was. It has no place there, and go forward. And he looked at me and he said, Auntie, that real hard to do, And I just looked at him and said, no, just make up your mind that it is not there. Now, I don't know if that is a significant skill that I have, or if it is something that people are afraid to do, or the trauma stays as a security blanket that you hold on to and say, well, it's been a part of my past for so long, it has to go forward with me. But I say rest it down, you know where you left it, and go forward with what you want to do. And anytime you want to revisit it, you could go back and meet it. But it's not coming with you where you're going. And I suppose one of the things, Jennifer, that I will examine and try to find out, and we'll probably find the appropriate professional to come and talk about that, is whether it is a superpower that I'm talking about, that I say, trauma, stay there, I'm going. When I need you, I'll come back to you. Or whether that is something that anyone can do once you set your mind to it. And I think that is the one gift or one blessing or one thing that I have as I go forward that makes me feel like, hey, what I want to do, I can do. And because I've landed safely, any obstacle I meet, I will deal with.
Ariane, what I have to recognize also for you, that you have a lot of self-confidence. And I'll go back to, you mentioned just now, if it is a superpower. People have different personalities, definitely. And their personalities, their background, their experiences from childhood, through school, through the workplace, to the stage where we are in retirement, as you say, makes a big difference, And from my experience as a coach, going to different types of seminars, etc., I had to accept the fact that people are different. You see, values, belief system, their faith set makes a big difference. And, I have to agree with you sometimes when you say you leave them alone. Because it took me a while until to be fair, I would say until recently. Because as a coach, I felt I could always reach out and help. And I recognize, there are people, no matter, it could be very glaring to others. But because of that I would say the experiences in the past, the fear, this fear of that pain, and to recall the situation, because for healing, you really have to accept or release, face the reality, release it. You can't just release something that you're not accepting that this is what it is.
Yeah.
So I would start with that. And I actually have accepted the fact, I see it as a gift, seriously, as a gift, to be able to, in spite of what others may see as a lot of the negatives and challenges, I am gifted or blessed with being able to focus on the, as I said, positive energy. I also believe doing that certification as an energy coach, during that period, I had to really go deep within and release some of the baggage that I have been carrying. It took a while, as you keep saying, it's nothing. I'm who I am today because of a lot of work I did on myself, by the way. It is not me being born this way, born lucky, like some people would say, and here I am being, to some, a very positive, grounded person. I'm still working on it, right? So it's a lot of work. But in doing that work, we have to be willing to be truthful to ourselves, to accept the fact that we weren't right, or we may have been in a situation that caused us to act a certain way, but this is the reality of it. The other thing, and I have learned over the years, and I believe it has brought me to where I am today, is being willing to admit that you are wrong in situations, and being open-minded to look at the other side of things and say, maybe that is the way that it should have been. Not blaming yourself, but learning that lessons learned from it without being bitter. I have looked, and we spoke to many people. We had all the professionals, connections for the last how many years, 6 years or so. I would say we did fantastic in bringing on, different professionals, and being open as how we are open right now, sharing our situations and experiences. But it didn't work for everyone. We didn't expect it to, although I still expected more change than Terry did. But for me,
remember, you're the backstop on the river crossing, eh? You're not crossing until everybody cross. I go in ahead and pull it.
I moving forward, and as I said, it's not about goals. I am on a journey. I am continuously on a journey. And the goals may seem, that's why I say it's not a goal. This is what I want to do. Before, and you may hear me talk, and I change the way I speak on it. I may have said, and Terry will always correct me here and say, "God, Terry, and I don't have the money, she said, give me a break." And over the years, and let me tell you, when I did my energy coaching, that was one of the rare, as I say, gremlins I had to release. Lack of money. And I saw lack of money from childhood days. And I have achieved so much. I mean, so much. And people on the outside say, but but we were able to do this. You know how much money that is? We can't afford to do this, and things like that. That had me recognize, hey, what are you complaining about? Really, focus on your wins. Say focus on your wins, focus on your achievements, and forget the dollar sign. That for me, I had a massive shift. And because of that, I am able to manifest things that before I might say, I can't afford to do this. Even recently, I said, you see me, I can't afford to buy a car, my money could go towards something else. And then in recent time, and all these things I'm sharing is I won't say the turmoil, it's the decisions during 2025. All right. And when I sold my car, so I could buy an car, and then I kept saying, and we have to watch our thoughts, watch our words and watch our thoughts. And I'm thinking, I can't buy no car, I don't have that money. You see that money, I could do this. You see that negative we put on what we want? We could never, it can't be manifested. How can I manifest it if all my thoughts, all my words to others, I am sending out that negative energy? So I've changed that, and recently I say, but why can't you have a car? This is really what you want, because kind of I see myself free-spirited. I like to, as they say, jump in the car and go wherever I want to. I find myself being limited, and I say, no, I'm not limiting myself 2026, So I'm manifesting it. I'm not looking at the dollar sign. This is where, again, faith comes in, Terry. With anything we do, we have to believe it, see it. I do a lot of visioning, and we spoke about visioning in one of our shows. So I envision myself, I know now buying a small car have to be roadworthy, especially now. And and other things that more of the things that I thought financially, I must be stretching myself too much. I removed those barriers, and I'm going into 2026 with that positive mood. I have manifested, I'm manifesting, this is what I want. I am seeing it. And it's not that I didn't know about visioning and all. We know about that. We talk about that. But we have to be careful sometimes when we allow ourselves to be bombarded by the negatives and by the rhetoric from other people.
Or even what we tell ourselves.
And that way, I would say, where in terms I said, my life is I wouldn't even say compartmentalized, but the things that made me who I am, and I keep working on, is spirituality. Because I'm telling you, if you're not grounded, whatever, I'm not talking religion, you could believe in whatever, but you see grounding in faith, knowing that, hey, within that spirituality, charity component, I believe that for me to manifest anything, I must free myself of negativity. I must be grounded, not just in faith, but in kindness, in love, in genuinely helping others, not with regret, not doing something and you're bitching after and you're complaining. So moving forward, as I said, it's a continuous journey. I believe the awareness of where you are and knowing clearly how you want your life to be would help in that journey. And that's why, for our audience, you may sound all positive and everything. And somebody can say, she can say anything, everything going great. Or somebody might tell me, You don't have anything to worry about. You may talk about money, but look at that. So it's not about money. I'm not talking about money or nothing again. This is all about life, moving forward. As I said, I like being free-spirited, spontaneous. I love being out there with people and having fun. And if I want to continue on that positive journey, I have to watch my words, remove all the negative, words, things that we say, because when we say it to others, we are sending that negative message to them about us, about how we feel, about how we think. So the awareness, I am very conscious of watching my words, my actions, and my projections. Basically, I would say it like that. Yeah.
I have 3 bits of reality, things that if I have to check myself, these are the things that I do. And I have trauma, I have anxiety, I have fear, I have issues and things that I'm not pleased about in my life. But I ask myself a question. Is that thing an event, or is it a security blanket wrapped around me? If something that is negative, or something that is, I don't want to use the word negative, if something that is not in alignment with what I am or what I want to be or where I want to be is in my life, I ask myself, is that an event? Is that a person separate and apart from me? Or is that something, is that feeling, is that emotion, is that memory, is that situation something that I like to wrap myself in because it's a nice security blanket? If it is a security blanket and I like how it feels, I accept it. And I make it a part of me and it comes into my positive aura. It is no longer negative. Because if you're keeping it with you and it's a security blanket and you love it, and each of us knows there's a situation in our lives that we're not dealing with. We choose to, for whatever reason, a relationship is too important to deal with it. We choose to have it. If it is the case, I accept it as part of me, and it therefore it comes with the package, so it's no longer a burden. If it is an event, then it is something that has happened, it is past, I can leave it where it is. And I think we have to honestly, when we get into the roughness, when we start the pity party, Jennifer, as you say, about something, ask ourselves honestly, is this an event in my life? Is this another person that is not me? Or is it something that I choose to wrap as a security blanket? And let me tell you something. If you pick up a stinky security blanket that pissy and full of a baby dribble and stuff, it don't smell good. So wherever you take yourself with that security blanket, others smelling you and seeing you. So just know what kind of security blanket you're wrapping yourself in. And if it is an event, leave it where it is. Go back and visit it or not. So I would say that one thing. The other thing that I think we must guard and look at, and especially for us in this cohort, we understand time. That's why I keep saying this first quarter of the second millennium. When we look around, Jennifer, you look around at that beautiful garden you've created. You see my little garden outside, and I'm in a room in my house that I call the blue room. It's my room. It's my comfort. And Jennifer, people come to your home and, oh my God, look at this. It's so beautiful. It's so this. They come to my home and, oh my God, look at this. She rich. This is 36 years in the making. This took 36 years to get here. Jennifer's porch, Jennifer's patio took decades. It took sacrifice. It took leaving that place, going to rent somewhere, coming back, building over, fixing, breaking her savings to create it. And what I want us to do is when I see something that I admire, and I begin to get a tinge of that jealousy, and I begin to get a tinge of, oh God, why I don't have something like that? I just ask the person, how long did it take you to do this? Or what was your journey to this? I get into a mode of curiosity. What was your journey to do this? How did this start? What was your vision? What was the challenge? Was it an exciting process? Because we could look at somebody in a space, happily retired, enjoying the fruits of their 50, 60 years of labor, and want it immediately. I think that is so out of time, it isn't funny. So I think, and very often we feel that way when we have on that stinky security blanket, you know? So I would say, first, is it an event or is it a security blanket? And next, recognize time. You look at somebody in a position, recognize how much work they put into it. If you are not there, but you want to be there, you have to put in the work and the time. You mightn't take 30 something years to get to it. You might take 5 or you might take 10, but recognize what you see in front of you is an aspiration, is a goal. And don't envy someone for enjoying the fruits of their labor and their sacrifice. And the last thing that I want to say, and I think it is so important, we need to stop running away and being afraid of our own power and capacity. I think people are afraid to confront their competence. They are afraid to say, I can do that. I am really good at this. Or there's that challenge across there. I've been through stuff like that in my life and I can do it. And to go ahead and show and let people see that you can do it, that you have power and you have capacity. That's another stinky security blanket, but I took it out. To be weak, to be unable, to need help, to do what? Your power is a God-given gift. It is a God-given gift. And if you sit down and play meek and mild on it and you want to feel your core, you call it self-confidence, call it whatever it is. But if it is your power and your capacity, use it and create and bring into existence what you desire. It is a gift. So, what you call my confidence, what you call this, I think is that I separate events from security blankets. I have some security blankets I walk around, but I put some perfume on it and so on, so people wouldn't smell the stinky part of the security blankets. And I give myself time. I look at things and I say, all right, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. I give myself time. And I know my capacity. I know my power. And I use it for good. I use it for good, not for evil. And I think, really, Jennifer, that is the thing that has me landing in this place safely. And that is the thing that has me looking forward with so much excitement and energy to what the next quarter is going to bring. And I really, really hope that people at the end of this 2025 can think in those ways and reflect on, play back this episode, play back, get a notebook and write down points that resonate with you. Our cohort is too precious and too blessed to be going ahead with all this, as the Middle Eastern people say, janjat. It's too much a janjat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry-Ann, as you're speaking, there are two things jumped out at me. Time, but I'm looking at time in a different way. And being independent. And let me do on time. And I hear you and I like you know, how you describe what you see as the time. But I'm looking at time too, for us at our cohort, our age group, that if we look at, okay, this is the time we may have, like, this is our, people may not want to look at it yet, but let's say we're in the, almost in the final, the last stage. I wouldn't want to say last stage, but we are the later stage in life. Let me put it that way. We are the later stage in life. We are that stage. What are we waiting on again? What are we waiting on again? This is the stage you are. This is the time for those, of course, who may be still grumbling and holding on and finding fault with others, with the young people, with everybody else, right? I believe for us to really enjoy the time we have left. Of course, none of us know. I could live under 102 like my mom, or I could go before. But I'm not focusing on how long God will have me here. I am focusing on, hey, there's the stage I'm in. I'm at the later stage. I'm at the stage where I am given this time. This is my time to enjoy life. This is my time to clear my head of all them nonsense. Who was bad and wicked and everything? It's changing, you know. I can do, in the time I have, I can do nothing about that. I can't do anything about that. Even if even if they change, that's their business. It have nothing to do with me. You understand? They change any way I would want them to change, whether it's a child, a sibling, whoever. Even if they change the way I felt that they should change, that is not making a difference to my life. My life is, this is how I want to live these last years of my life. And I assuming we all at this stage wanted to be happy and doing the things we want to do without the stress. If we cannot release and forget what the neighbor do and this do and that do, I have, you know, I have to bring in a personal thing. So I'm in my backspace. I am doing this recording right here. And there's a camera belonging to my neighbor directly into my backyard, watching my space, maybe hearing what I have to say. But guess what? Me is stressing on that, you know, because for me, I created my space to be happy. Whoever think, however they feel about it, or what is their reason for doing what they do. I am not focusing on that. Guess what I'm focusing on? Being happy, sitting down here, chatting with you. And this is what I want. There are so many things that we could focus on and complain about, affecting our peace of mind, affecting that nice flow of energy. Because listen to me, when you put, these are blocks, when I say, oh, if a friend thing and the friend this, and I keep all the negative talks about whatever I don't like, is not helping me. And I believe this is our time, and this is how we're using time, and this is how we're using my time. Yeah. Not sure how long, it could be next 50 years, it could be next 30 years. But my time now is not, I am not, you know, who say I'm taking back my time or whatever in the politics talk. This, I treasure my time, and I'm not letting anyone take away that time from me, or take up or take from my time. So I would say, any time we start to think and go down that negative road and talk about the young people, this and this one, that and that one, that, and when we were growing up. That is taken up from my space. That is adding negativity to my nice positive space. And I cannot, the thing about what we have to understand, Terry, we cannot change. The situation is gone, it's in the past. However, we could control how we feel, how we think, how we want to look at things, and whether we do the forgiving and the releasing. Not for them to come to ask for forgiveness.
Exactly.
We decide whether it is in our, by the way, whether it is in our interest, if it will make us feel better. And even if we go down that road to say we apologizing and things, cut your expectations.
Yeah.
You do what you have to do. You don't expect that person to go on their knees, right? You don't expect that person to hug and kiss and say, well, I know I was right. No, 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 no. You do it to clear your mind. You do it to release and to free up that space, right? So that is what I would say in terms of time. This is my time to be happy. This is my time to be free. This is my time to give praise and show gratitude more than anything else, all right? And the part with being independent ties into that. We need to stop depending on people to make us happy. Some of us feel, okay, and I'm bringing a personal thing. I want to go and do some knocking about today to do certain things. And I thought, let me ask my daughter to run around. And then it hit me, why are you going and harass her? She hates the idea of driving around busy. She wants her space. She wants to rest. If she say yes and she do it, it would be feeling pressured because she feels she has to give in to me and please me. And I'm asking, why do you want to go through that? Leave her alone. Get somebody who, this is the job, would be happy to come and take you around because that's your job. You could pay them. They're happy to get a little dollar and you to everybody happy. So your energy, everything around whatever I'm going to do, I don't have a grumpy person behind me. I don't have somebody bringing their negative energy because I brought it on them. We have to be careful, Terry-Ann, where we feel people owe us something. You understand? That's my friend. So you, Terry-Ann, owe me. I should be able to call you and say, Terry-Ann, I do have a car. Come and do so and so. No, 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 no. So we have to think, put ourselves to any other person. Think, be charitable.
Jennifer,
not force them to do things.
I will add this. For those of you who are on the receiving end of people who do that to you, like guilt you into doing things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Just learn to watch them and say no. That's all.
Yeah.
Go back to that good old pensioners anthem that oh gosh, the artist just come out my brain, the Soca Parang from this year. Die your hair, bend your back, don't let arthritis keep your back. I forget his name, but the pensioners anthem. You learn to say no to people like that. People who come to take your peace and guilt you into doing things you don't want to do. Just say no and move on. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Jen, we are on to our last.
That's it. That's my last words on that. Yeah.
I have one quip. You talk about our habit of talking about the children nowadays and how it was when I was born, when I was young and all that kind of stuff. I am putting out a challenge right now. Anybody who want to go back to those days, and you're not cherry picking the days, you're not cherry picking it. If you want to go back to the good old days, you're going. I would, within my means, give you whatever you want. But you have to take where you was living, how you was eating, all the conveniences you have now. If you was washing clothes by a river or if you had joking board, if you had to wash clothes with your hand, and if you had to use blue soap, if you had to use kerosene stove or firewood, whatever your life was at that time, I go help you go. But you're going and you're going for everything. You cannot cherry pick time. We are here now. And if you're talking about, oh, in my days, the children was this, in my days, the children was that. Go back to the days when they didn't even have a TV or a radio to listen to. Or go back to the days when they had a ration card to get some flour and rice. Don't cherry pick, you know? So, anyway, Jen, I am happy about 2026. I am happy about 2025 with its positives and negatives. I am happy about this first quarter of the second millennium, and I'm looking forward to going forward.
So, Terry-Ann, before we close,
we have to go into tribe because we have to go into our section to talk about where we are. So, people, Connections is moving forward. So let's go into tribe. Let's end off being in tune and go into tribe to hear about the future. So Jennifer, 2026, 5.8 GLI is changing. But first, we are taking a little pause. We have been going for 6 years. 6 years every week nonstop, with a couple of repeats here and there, but 6 years. And I think that is a phenomenal achievement. And Jennifer, I want to start by congratulating us.
yeah,
And that. But we have decided, based on everything you heard of today, you know, at the end of the year, we get together and we have our strategic retreat. And this year we did it ourselves in Jennifer's beautiful backyard, and I think it gave us new juice and new vibes. And the first decision that we made is that we are taking a pause, not only to recharge ourselves and our ideas and to gather a unique group of, and I will let Jennifer talk about the direction we're taking next year, a unique group of people to share this journey with. But we all believe that we need to pause and reflect. So we will be taking a pause, but in the interim, you'll still see us. And we have an extensive and beautiful catalog of work, a beautiful body of work. So we're going to be selecting and curating the real gems. And every week, 5.8 GLI will be with you. It will be with you. But you will be experiencing some of our past gems. And we hope that you would look at it, you would engage with us, give us your memories, give us your thoughts. And we hope that in this selection is going to jog your memory and help you as you prepare for 2026 and the beginning of the second quarter of the second millennium. Okay. So you're not going to see Jennifer and myself live like this until Ash Wednesday. And that's just 7 weeks away. Don't panic. It's 7 weeks away. That's all. But you will see us every week. And Jennifer, what are we thinking of going forward?
Well, we are thinking, as Terry-Ann had said, 6 years we're doing this. And we are thinking to be more active. When I say active, to go out more as against for us to, I call it, well, we don't have the formal name when we're going to be launching it formally. So at that launch, you would get what's our new series called. But for now, it's activity. It's like we said, ageless adventures, basically. We are catering a lot to, again, we all like to say seniors. So our tribe, the same tribe, y'all, we are involving you all more, but we want to share more of the fun things, especially things that we like. We're going to be going out there exploring places, things, doing things differently where you can see us in action and not us alone, some of our tribe, out there. So you will see how we live, how we enjoy life, how we really not moving into, how we are being active in 2026, the things we are doing. It will be I see it as not just fun, but a learning experience, being curious. We are going out there to explore things that we like, places we want to see, chat with people who we may find interesting and have an interesting story for us. And in addition with that, we would also be continuing with our various activities, but we will link the activities to our stories. All right. So for instance, you may go out there and have fun seeing somebody doing something different, and we could get them to come and show us how to do that activity in that environment, so things like that. I feel it will be very, very exciting. We obviously, because of being out there, we most unlikely, and I'm saying that because we haven't yet fixed the dates for you all, but it will be more on a fortnightly basis where we would come on, because as I said, we'll be a lot outdoors and doing activities and having fun. So it's going to be a lot on us to do that every week. We're not even sure if it will be every Wednesday, but we will maybe look at all that. So the details you're going to get when at our launch on Ash Wednesday, but we just letting you know about all the excitement, and it's a difference from what we have done for the last 6 years. Yeah.
Definitely. So to everyone, thank you so much for being you. Thank you for being the people that you are. Thank you for being our tribe. We wish you all the best for 2026 and beyond. So, Happy New Year!
All the best.
Tribe and follow us from Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean.
Thank you for joining us on this Connections 50 Plus 5.8G Alive show.
We hope you enjoyed the lively conversation and look forward to seeing you next week.
Don't forget to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We really love getting your feedback. Bye for now.